I want to close with a concept created by one of our guests, Kevin Kelly. He's one of the founders of Wired Magazine. He's a futurist, and he came and visited our studio. Again, I think it was like 5 or 6 years ago. And Kevin has an incredible concept of that's called this, your 1,000 true fans. And he's got an amazing way of articulating it. Let Kevin tell you about it with this video clip, and then I'll try to expand a little bit more on his concept of 1,000 true fans. Here's Kevin Kelly right now.
Technology allows us to actually interact with our customers directly. In the past, you'd sell a book, and there'd be a publisher and a bookseller, and someone would buy your book, but you'd have no connection as the author with that person. But now you can sell a book, even if you don't sell them directly. They can have an email. They can contact you on an ongoing basis. And so the premise is simply that if you have that kind of ability to connect with your audience directly, and you don't have all these other people involved with publishers and music studios and everybody, if you're actually creating and dealing directly with them, that the numbers that you need to actually get a living are very small. And I call those people that are going to be most valuable to you true fans, because the true fans are fans that will purchase anything that you produce in all the varieties, all the different editions, all the different venues, whatever it is, anything you do, they're going to support you in it. If you don't need very many of those kinds of people, and by my calculation, for a single creator, you need about 1,000. If you can produce $100 worth of goods a year, then 100 times 1,000 is $100,000. That's a living, okay? And so that's the basic idea. Now, you have to adjust that by lots of different things, because you have expenses you have to subtract. If you have more than one person as a duo, you have to multiply by 2. And the important thing, though, is that number is actually not critical. It's the order of magnitude. It says you don't need 1 million fans to make a living if you have direct contact with them. You don't need even 100,000. You need it in the thousands. And the second thing about that I would say is that that's not for everybody, because there's a lot of work involved in dealing with your fans. There's a lot of work in connecting with them and servicing them directly. And not everybody wants that. Some authors or artists, they don't want to become a social media guy or a person or a girl. They want to paint in their studio. And so for them, they need to have somebody involved. So you have to add a layer, and you have to adjust those numbers in some capacity. So it's not for everybody, but it's a possibility.
And look, Kevin's an incredible, incredible talent. He goes on and on about this concept of 1,000 true fans. Full episodes on our website as well. And by the way, that was our gong there in the background. And the gong sounds something a little bit like this, because someone's just joined our academy. Actually, I'm going to give them a shout out soon. But you'll be hearing the gong happen throughout this show as well. But let me just say, back to Kevin Kelly's intellectual property. Kevin says this: you don't need millions. You don't need millions of dollars. You don't need millions of customers. You don't need millions of fans to make a living as an influencer, a craftsperson, a photographer, a musician, a designer, a trader, an app developer. You only need thousands of true fans. And so if you can satisfy a small micro niche of people, a small group of people, and make them really happy, then you'll gain traction. And from there, that's actually how you get big, by trying to specialize on a small group of people and not trying to satisfy millions of people at the same time. It's counterintuitive, but I've been teaching this concept inside the London Real Academy for over 7 years in my Business Accelerator programs and my Broadcast Yourself podcasting programs. Trust me, this has worked for thousands and thousands of my students. And so I'll ask you before we finish out today, who are your 1,000 true fans? What do they look like? What are their age groups? What are their challenges? Where are they located? What are their problems in life? What do they want? Focus on those 1,000 people, and that's how we're going to get you to the next level.